Thank you. Now, one of the state's most high-profile Republican lawmakers has continued to weigh in on the recount, sounding the alarm about the possibility of voter fraud. But Senator Marco Rubio's sharp rhetoric is not going over well with other members of Florida's congressional delegation, with key races still undecided. At 5:06, our Washington Bureau reporter Samantha-Jo has been tracking this story, and she caught up with the senator today. Samantha-Jo, what did he have to say?
Well, Melissa, since election night, Senator Marco Rubio has been perhaps one of the most outspoken Florida elected officials when it comes to this recount. He says he'll continue to watch it extremely closely because at this point, it's still unclear who will be serving next to him here in the U.S. Senate come January.
People get fired up, especially in a close election.
In the days since the midterm election, Senator Marco Rubio has been vocal on Twitter, expressing frustration with the process and blasting various election officials.
They violated the law. They failed to meet deadlines. They failed to report every 45 minutes as required by law.
The senatorial race has been defined by bitter accusations and legal battles launched by Republicans and Democrats. And some members of Florida's congressional delegation believe Rubio's rhetoric isn't helping.
It's just really stunning to me that Marco Rubio would be suggesting that anything other than Florida law be followed to make sure these votes are counted, and that everyone who has cast a ballot is able to have their franchise matter.
The senator has made it clear he's on board with the recount, but says someone else is to blame for undermining voter confidence in the election.
Bottom line is the only thing that should undermine credibility and confidence in our elections is the incompetence of Dr. Snipes and the Broward Elections Department.
The backlash from Rubio in recent days, a complete reversal after he refused to campaign against his colleague in the Senate. The partnership between the two intensified in the months ahead of the election, but now he's sounding off on his growing suspicion of the lawyers representing Senator Bill Nelson's campaign.
My problems aren't with Senator Nelson, but they are with lawyers that are coming down to Florida and trying to change the rules of our election after the fact. And that's not fair to voters, and frankly, that's a terrible precedent to set.
Now I asked the senator if he believes it's time for his colleague to concede. Senator Marco Rubio maintains that Senator Nelson has every right to proceed with his legal options. He also reiterated that his concern has to do with Nelson's lawyers and not with Senator Nelson, the senator himself. For now, we are live on Capitol Hill. Samantha-Jo, Spectrum, Bay News 9.
Samantha.